In lands of Ithilien, hoofs echo throughout the forests. A patrol, a spearhead, a scouting force, even, moves its way through the greenery of the land. Spotted by one of the many ranges of Ithilien, he runs back to report this movement to Faramir. This is a prelude to something far greater at hand. Perhaps a force more devastating than the men of Gondor have ever experienced. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shadow Wraith, and today I am going to be talking about a fun list. I think it's fun. So I thought it'd be quite a cool idea to get back into it by talking about lists, and the kind of lists I'm meaning to talk about, like obviously I'll do the competitive lists once I get more data from tournament scenes and again, so I can compose like longer videos, but I thought themey lists was quite a cool one. So the list we have is obviously Serpent Horde, and the idea behind this list, as you can probably well see, is it is in fact fully mounted. Now, this is nothing new. Fully mounted lists have been around for ages, but I haven't gone to a tournament and seen a fully mounted Harad list. I think one of the I think maybe Zorb or something, someone had a fully mounted Haradrim list. That was years ago though, I believe. I saw that quite a while ago, and I've never run it, so I ran this actually for the first time today, and it's actually really cool. So let's start with the fluff. As you heard by the tiny little, I'm going to call it a cinematic intro, this is the idea behind this list. It is the kind of like scouting force ahead of the Mumakil before they're coming through the forests. So they'll be make sure the path is clear, and they did an absolutely terrible job because obviously the Mumakil did get ambushed, but some did get through obviously because they turned up at Pelennor Fields, didn't they? So yeah, couldn't have stopped them. That's kind of cool. So let's get into the list really quick. So we've obviously got the Betrayer mounted. If you're not bringing the Betrayer in Farharad, I think you're doing it wrong. His Master of Poison's ability is far too valuable, giving a 6-inch aura of any poison weapons. They don't just reroll once, they reroll everything, so that's quite good. Like 6 inches can be like scary big, like bigger than you think. Yeah, you get me. Anyway, and then on top of that, keeping it with the 6-inch theme, we've got Suladan, the Serpent Lord. Now he is cheap as chips. He's a hero of legend with a 6-inch banner, okay, and he's got an armoured horse. And if you give, just for all that, I think he's 115 points. You know? Nuts. Absolutely crazy. And he's got a pretty decent stat line. So he's rocking around, 3 might, 3 will, 1 fate. But fight 5, but he has got strike, and he's got march as well, which is kind of cool. For a big hero to have march, so it's usually designated to the captain, and it works really well for this list, just giving you even more mobility just in case you need it. I would recommend trying to keep something for strike in case they've got that big scary hero, but it's not the end of the world if you don't, because you've got this little sausage here who's got a lovely spell that is called Transfix. Okay, and you know me, I love my Transfix, Sat will Transfix. Then that hero is party in your hands. The Betrayer is not the best caster in the world, but his main job isn't to be casting, it's to be buffing, and then he can throw out the odd cast here and there to upset the enemy, especially fight against something like Range of Ithilien. His Compel, you can just pull like a friendly model into the way of shots, so they just can't shoot what you don't want them to shoot at, which can be very powerful if done correctly. So yeah, and I find it really good against like blinding light models, because obviously that's only against shooting, but then you've got Ring Wraith who's just going around and black dart that person, or even compel the blinding light away so the rest of your army can shoot. Awesome. So the next big thing about this list is we are taking full advantage of all the army bonuses. So everything's got poison weapons. So we've got poison war spears on these, and I know they say Haradrim riders with spears. Should be Haradrim Raider, surely. But no, they're actually Serpent Riders, okay? Because it's just... It is worth making them fight 4 on horseback. It's just massive. It's absolutely massive to have fight 4 on your list. Especially if they're the combat dudes. And these are going to be the Raiders, and they've all got war spears and bows. Okay? In total, we have got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 with bows, and I believe it's exactly the same for the scary boys with pointy sticks. 14 there. As for warbands, I like mixing warbands, but today I got a bit cheeky and I went, we go pew pew with betrayer, chop chop with banner. Makes sense, doesn't it? Because to be honest, these guys can fight and shoot. Their main job is to keep shooting and only strike when you need them to. As all fully mounted lists, you can only strike when it is the best time in your favour. You can't just dive in head first, turn 1 charge, because if you don't roll right, you can lose a lot of your army. And these aren't cheap. I think, what, 13 points per one of these, which is absolutely dirt cheap. I think best cavalry in the game. If my boy Rash was here, he would agree with me. So yeah, that's it. And okay, sorry, quick correction. It is 13 Raiders with bow and war spear, 14 Serpent Riders. Okay, and that gives you 600 points, or well, it's just under, I think it's 596 points. Obviously, if you want to maximize on your point and squeeze every penny, you can drop you can drop a spear off one of these guys and give Sully a bow if you really want. I wouldn't. I don't know, like Sully down with a sword, a bow. Like, okay, cool. It's up to you completely. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would do. But yeah, this is the list. It's not too shabby either. Breakpoint is what, 15? Yeah, it's not bad for a fully mounted list. And I'm sorry, but I do believe these guys have got the best cavalry for their points in the game. They're 13 points for these boys, 13 points for these boys. It's just so cheap. So cheap. As for tactics for these guys, I mean, if you've ever played Total War, I kind of see these guys as Jav Cav to start off with. You're going to be kiting, you're going to be probing the enemy, you're going to be weakening their line. Okay, these guys, I'd use them as a flanking force or something. You want to hit a point of an army hard. If you're going against an all-hero army, like, I mean, I think you'll be fine, to be honest. If you got this guy anywhere near who can sat will and then transfix someone, like, who cares? And just charge like 3 or 4 of these in, how many you can fit, or silly in 2 of these. You just drop people. Like Ents kind of can die against this quite easily. Courage is the only issue, I find, but at the same time, it's not that big of an issue. Okay, there's no harbinger or anything like that with Ents. They quite like killing Ents. And I believe the Raiders, the Serpent Raiders, are higher courage? No, I think it's just fight value they get. It's just fight value. You know what? Why am I guessing? I can tell you. I can tell you right now. They are... yeah, they're the same. Courage 3. Okay, courage 3. But 7 on 2 dice is average. So, and you've got quite a few of them to take out Ents. Ents seem to be quite common at tournaments. That's the only reason I bring them up. But yeah, you know, you get into a normal Ent with as many of these guys as you can. Suladan, strike, you know. Or even better, if you can really pull it off and you want to be an absolute Giga Chad, you can waste a point of might over here with this guy. Channel Transfix the Ent, or you don't have to channel if you don't want to. If you're feeling lucky and they're not going to roll a 6. But if you half their fight value, Suladan will take the cake in fight value against a normal Ent, and then you can use his might to heroic combat into another Ent. Pretty scary. That's what I find. Or the third option to take out big monsters is you have Suladan in on an Ent with a Betrayer. I know you're going to be losing might. Will, because you're in combat with as many of these boys as you can, or these boys, it doesn't really matter, and he can strike, he can combat, There you go. And if he gets to a high enough strike to beat an Ent, you can heroic combat into another Ent, because you're probably going to kill it. A trapped Ent with +1 to wound, re-rolling all failed wounds. Yeah, you're probably going to take it down. What are they? Defense 8. So that'd be 6s by 4s, down to 5s by 3s, re-rolling. Yeah, you know, I think they've both got Bane of Kings as well. Something stupid. Yeah, you can't really go wrong. The downside to this list is that you are running very low on might. You've only got 5. Okay, so you have to be like tactical and use your resources to your best ability. You need to know when you're going to be spending might, when you're not going to be spending might. Is it really worth getting an extra cavalry charge? Maybe not. I'll save it. Oh, he doesn't have Bane of Kings either, I don't think. Can't see it. So yeah, poison weapons, but it'll be rolling because of the betrayal, so who cares? Yeah, fantastic. So that's it, really. That's it. You want to be kiting? You want to be hitting people and poking them with big sticks and being Haradrim? It's very cool for the Dark Lord. Now, in the comment section down below, let me know what you think of this list. And let me know what you think of me just covering random lists. I will play with the list and then cover it, okay? And it'll be like, I'll try and do one for most factions. Or multiple for the same faction as well, if I can. If there's many cool lists you can do. Like, you got really silly lists, like the, one of my good friends is playing an Uruk-hai, like, bomb list, which is just a bunch of Berserkers bombs. Whether it's very competitive or not, doesn't matter. It's very cool. You know, I always have a dwarf list. I think I covered in one of my tournament videos. I'd like to go more in depth than that. But yeah, if you like it, hit the like button. And if you're feeling especially generous today, do consider subscribing. But even if you don't do either of those things, I still hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.